Hello, I'm Jameer Howerton from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and this exhibit showcases the NFL's incredible effort and achievement to beat back COVID-19 and play their entire full season, 256 games. No other sports league came close. Let's go to Jason Akins for more.
Hi, I'm Jason Akins, the Pro Football Hall of Fame's curator, and we're here in our Pro Football Today gallery where we have our 2020 NFL season in review display, which we just updated. This exhibit highlights how COVID-19 impacted the NFL in the 2020 season, and also details all the protocols that the NFL put in place to overcome COVID-19 and have a great season for all us fans to enjoy. The first artifact I'll point out is a contact tracer worn by Rob Gronkowski in Super Bowl 55. Now the contact tracers were worn by the players during games, during practices, at team facilities, during team travel, and this told the NFL if somebody had tested positive, who came within 6 feet of that individual. The NFL found that if somebody was within 6 feet for 10 minutes or more with somebody that was positive with COVID-19, there was a high likelihood that that person would be infected. Now, of course, one of the more iconic items from this past season, everybody remembers, is Andy Reid's face shield. And of course, he started wearing that in week 1, and it often fogged up, creating some great images on the sidelines. And after the season, the Chiefs were kind enough to send his face shield. Now, of course, there were players and coaches that tested positive during the NFL season. One of the coaches that tested positive was Darrell Bevell, who was the interim coach for the Detroit Lions. He tested positive, and Robert Prince, the wide receiver coach, actually came in and coached the Lions on December 26th. He was the first interim coach due to COVID-19, and we have his visor and his polo shirt. And then also the Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski tested positive, and special teams coordinator Mike Priefer filled in for him in the NFL, or the AFC wild card for the 2020 season, and the Cleveland Browns won that game, and that was the first time a substitute head coach won an NFL playoff game. And we have his headset and his sideline outfit as well. And of course, Mike Priefer is from Cleveland, so it was a great moment for him, and we were happy to highlight his contributions. Now, also during this past season, the Denver Broncos, their whole quarterback depth chart was held out because of COVID considerations, and Kendall Hinton, their practice squad wide receiver, who had a little bit of quarterbacking experience in college and high school, had to fill in, and they gave him within a couple days notice, and they gave him this play sheet to use in his game against the New Orleans Saints on November 29th, 2020. And this harkens back to Tom Matte, who filled in as an emergency quarterback for the Baltimore Colts in 1965. And this is Tom Matte's wristband, and he really made the wristband famous back in 1965. He was a running back for the Baltimore Colts, but due to injuries to their quarterbacks, he had to fill in as quarterback. And after this occurred, both Tom Matte and Kendall Hinton have struck up a friendship and have corresponded together. Now, the first event that was affected by COVID-19 was the 2020 NFL Draft. And because of COVID-19 protocols, the draft was held virtually. Everybody remembers that Commissioner Goodell broadcasted the NFL Draft from his basement of his home. And these are his cue cards from that virtual NFL Draft, and his famous M&M jar that he put his hand in quite a few times during the 3-day NFL Draft, which he hosted from his basement. Of course, the players the potential draft picks could not all meet or come to the NFL draft, so everybody was broadcasted from home. And everybody remembers that Joe Burrow was the first overall selection of the NFL draft, and this is the iPhone that the NFL sent to him to broadcast his selection. You remember he was selected from his living room. All the major draft choices had an iPhone and a draft kit sent to them that allowed them to be broadcasted from their living room, and then also a second iPhone for interviews. And this is the iPhone that Joe Burrow had. Of course, one of the great stories from the 2020 NFL season is Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, a guard for the Kansas City Chiefs. He started in Super Bowl 54 and decided to sit out the 2020 NFL season, not just because of COVID-19. Let me redo that.
You're good.
One of the great stories from the 2020 NFL season was Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who started at guard for the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 54. He decided to sit out the 2020 NFL season to put his medical degree to work. He decided to work at a long-term care facility in his native Quebec to help the seniors there fight COVID-19. He thought that would be the best use of his time during the 2020 NFL season. This is his hospital scrubs that he wore working at the long-term care facility. He'll be back this NFL season, but he went on the front lines for his NFL salary and worked at the front lines of this long-term care facility, a real heroic story. Well, that gives you a preview of our 2020 NFL season review. I hope you come to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and check it out.